So what's going on, guys? My name's Chopper, and welcome everybody back to another video on the channel. And today we're going to be talking about everything we know about the new PUBG game. Now, that might sound like I'm trolling to some of you who have not heard of this yet, but there is a brand new PUBG game in the works, and we're going to be discussing every single bit of information we know about it. It's seen from the moment we got the first announcement of the new PUBG game that's coming, and then all of the surrounding peripheral information, that was it for now. And we're going to have to wait until the game comes out to learn more. But if you actually do some digging, there's a lot more than meets the eye. So we're going to be breaking down all of that today. Now, if you guys end up enjoying the video and you're feeling so kind as to leave a like rating, I would really appreciate that. And the channel has been absolutely thriving off of your guys' support. So thank you so much. And of course, subscribe if you're new to the channel so you don't miss any more videos and updates like this. And also, guys, if you weren't aware, I'm streaming over on Twitch. That's where I'm live streaming from here on out. So if you haven't already followed my channel, link will be down below in the description and I'll see you there for the streams. But without further ado, guys, let's get into it. Now, if you have no idea what I'm speaking about when I'm talking about a brand new PUBG game, let me back this up for everybody who isn't on the same page and maybe just a refresher for those of you who have heard the news, but maybe you haven't heard about it in a long time. A couple of months ago, the PUBG Corporation officially announced that they're bringing on Glen Schofield into the corporation in order to develop a single-player game in the PUBG universe. For those of you who are unfamiliar, Glen Schofield is one of the creative directors and masterminds behind such games such as Mass Effect, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3, and so on. So these are some of the big hits that he was a part of. Now, I met Glen back when he worked for Call of Duty, and that's where I knew him from, but since he's moved on to PUBG Corporation, they've given him his own independent studio called Striking Distance. Now, this is the name of the game studio that's making the video game itself. A lot of people are confused at the moment. Striking Distance is not the name of the actual PUBG single-player game. It's just the studio that's creating it, and it's brand new. It's, again, headed by Glen Schofield, and now they've even selected a spot on where this is going to be. According to the latest news, the Striking Distance studio is going to be at Bishop Ranch. Announced Tuesday that Striking Distance Studios, a new game development studio created by South Korea-based PUBG Corporation, has leased 25,000 square feet at Bishop Ranch for its new headquarters. And they also go on to say the company's move to Bishop Ranch is scheduled to take place by February 2020. And also, as we can see by one of Glen's tweets, they've already started breaking ground there and are about ready to get started. As some of you may know, Brendan Green, around a year ago, left PUBG Corporation in order to join PUBG's special project. So he was technically still under the entire umbrella of PUBG, but left being the actual creative director behind the Battle Royale. Now, PUBG Special Projects isn't something that really gets a lot of attention, and it's not entirely clear what they're always working on, but I have a suspicion that a lot of it has to do with this brand new PUBG single-player game. And their decision to bring on Glen was a definitely conscious one, so what I'm going to do is let you guys watch Glen speak for himself about the game, so you can get it straight from the horse's mouth. You don't have to listen to me on my interpretation about it, but we're going to talk about some more information after Glen speaks, so enjoy this.
Hi, I'm Glen Schofield. I'm happy to announce that I've just joined PUBG Corporation as CEO of a new independent game studio called Striking Distance. We're working together to build the studio from the ground up so we can begin crafting an original narrative experience in the PUBG universe. I've had a lot of opportunities to make some remarkable games throughout my career. At Visceral Games, we created the third-person survival horror shooter Dead Space. When I co-founded Sledgehammer Games, we got to work on the industry-defining Call of Duty franchise. After a lot of hard work and good times, the team and I were able to ship 3 incredible games. But now I'm looking to take those experiences to explore new designs and concepts at the Striking Distance headquarters in San Ramon, California. As a creative, the freedom to explore the PUBG universe has me excited about the possibilities, which we view as beyond Battle Royale. And I'm excited for the next step, which is finding the right people to join us on this journey. I'm looking forward to telling you more when I can, but until then, thank you for sharing this special moment with me.
So that comes straight from Glen himself, and what I find so fascinating about those words is not only are we going to be getting some more information whenever he's literally able to speak about it, but also we can get a good idea of what this game is going to be and who we're going to be playing as. The PUBG single-player game was announced. We unfortunately didn't have Erangel Remastered at that time, and so PUBG, what they've really said is that this is the first full look into the story with Erangel Remastered. Obviously, there was a little bit of lore in the original version, but it was much more scarce and much less put together and canon. What this means is that now all of these story bits that we need to be paying attention to have already been laid out in the game. And so with Erangel Remastered, there is a ton of lore to dig into, as a lot of you guys know. The story of Erangel can really focus on, in my opinion, 3 different parts. It can be the war before the Battle Royale island got started. It can focus on the history of the Battle Royale and the person who runs it himself, or it can focus on the history in between. In all likelihood, the information seems to point to that the time period that we're, at least as far as playing in Erangel, is going to be during the battle that the resistance and the military fought against each other, and also potentially we're going to be seeing who runs the Battle Royale island and the history behind him as well. I have a theory that we're going to dive deep into not only the history of the dictatorship with the military and the resistance, and we're going to go really in detail and learn characters from that time period and likely play in that, and we're also going to probably learn a lot from the perspective of the boy. And as you guys know from this, was shown off in the Season 4 cinematic trailer, and it's later revealed that this is the person who essentially perpetuates the Battle Royale game, has it all under his viewing with a bunch of screens in his office, and essentially puts this on all alone. The reason he does this, according to the trailer and to what he says, is when he was a boy, obviously that's when the bombs fell, everything including his family was taken away from him, and then that inspired him, because he was the lone survivor on that island, became obsessed with that idea of being the only one to make it, that he made it into his own game essentially. I have strong reason to believe that in at least a significant portion of the brand new PUBG game, we're going to be playing from the perspective of this boy. Not only would it make a lot of sense from a gameplay perspective, but it would be incredible storytelling if we could really figure out what's going inside the head of this kid, as he's the only one on the island. I think we're going to get the entire timeline of watching the island of Erangel deteriorate from a once thriving town that was very remote into what it is today, where contestants are literally playing to the death in order to win. Now, the interesting thing here is, as much I think there's enough room for content to just tell the story of Erangel and make that into an entire game, I don't think that that's where it's going to stop, because as we've recently learned, Miramar has recently gotten a huge boost in its storytelling as well. They released a cinematic trailer, part 1 for Miramar, where we can start to get an introduction to the characters and also a history of the desert island before it was a Battlegrounds. And what we can gather from that is that basically this was an area that was at once thriving, but then became infested with crime, corruption, and it was an incredibly popular town for death racing. That was its biggest economic draw, was this racetrack that people would come to see and participate in. But obviously there's a lot of corruption and underhandedness going on between participants and also bettors. Now, we don't have the full cinematic trailer yet, as PUBG is releasing it in parts, and I would assume there's maybe 2 to 3 more parts that we're going to see for this entire thing. But what we can gather is our first semblance of some characters within this, and also the link between this and Erangel isn't entirely clear, but I think it's our job to put the links together and figure out how they're related. The new PUBG game may also focus on some stories that happened at the island of Erangel before the war began. Some of these stories that can be found within the newspapers of Erangel mention a person who was arrested for impersonating a police officer, somebody who had been arrested for driving recklessly, and also another woman who was arrested because the military believed that her blood specifically held the key to eternal life. And we've spoke about her. Her name is Yulia Dmitrievska. She's one of the very few characters at the moment in the PUBG universe that we can actually tag a full name on. And there's also a million more stories that we probably haven't even heard about yet, and so many more characters that we don't know at the moment and we won't figure out until we do some more digging and some information comes out. As far as the other maps, I think the new PUBG game is going to feature every single one of them, because there is a decent amount of story packed into the remaining maps, Sanhok and Vikendi, although it's much more hidden and hard to really get a good grasp on. The new PUBG game, to some degree or another, should feature all of these maps, and I wouldn't see any reason to cut any corners on either of the 4. When it comes to the gameplay of the single player mode, I would imagine that the gunfighting is going to feel a lot like the Battle Royale. I wouldn't see any reason to change with the mechanics too much. Obviously, there are going to be some differences between the development of this studio and then also the, I guess, BR Studios' take on how the gunfight mechanics are going to work, but expect it to feel very familiar, especially if you've played a lot of the BR. And as far as we know about the development of Striking Distance, they're actually still hiring at this moment. So if you watch this video are looking to get into game dev and would like that to be something you pursue, there they're actually still hiring at the moment, I believe until February when they're starting. The possibilities for this game are absolutely endless. I am really optimistic about how the quality of this game is going to be. Hopefully, it's going to bring new players also into this franchise, maybe get people who weren't interested in the BR before or never really even heard of it, maybe interested in that as well. And then for all of us, the hardcore players watching this video, this is going to be something that will not only be another game that we can enjoy still in the PUBG universe, but is also going to enhance our Battle Royale experience, because the more you know about the game, in my opinion, it makes the overall gameplay that much more satisfying and you understand it a lot more as well. So I have pretty high expectations for this PUBG single player game. I know Glenn and the team are going to do a great job on it. And as such, I think as far as we know, we should probably expect to see this game sometime in 2020. But I just want to make a video with the brand new updated information that we had, and not only give an update to people who are expecting it, but let more people know who have never even heard of this what's happening. Of course, I'm going to be covering it here on this channel, but I want to know from you guys is, what do you want to see specifically in this single player game? It can be anything from a gameplay aspect to maybe a story beat. Do you want to see a specific map or story covered within this? Would you like to play as in maybe one of the perspectives of a soldier during the war, or would you like to see a history of the regular life of Erangel and sort of play in that as well? Let me know what you guys think down below in the comment section, and if you guys enjoyed the video, please make sure to drop it a like rating, subscribe if you are brand new around here, and also guys, make sure to open up the description and go follow me over on Twitch, where I'm going to be live streaming, and I'll see you guys over there. But let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below, and I'll see you guys in the next stream or the next video. Have a great rest of your day, and peace out.